The topic that gets me a little worked up is Raheem Mostert. Because that guy he's probably going to have a happy ending, but there's a significant chance that his story could go sideways. You were talking about guaranteed money, Leo. He has none left in his contract. Now he's a running back. Okay? He's 28. By the time he hits unrestricted free agency, he'll be 30. So the big payday isn't necessarily coming for Raheem the way it's coming for George. And if he suffers, if he pulls, I'm not going to say pulls or Jerick McKinnon, but if what happened to McKinnon happens to Mostert in camp where you suffer a serious injury, he's not going to make much money the rest of his life. And he could theoretically have to get like another job, like, become a real estate agent or something like that. And that shouldn't happen to a 49ers legend. I mean, I would consider him a legend after what he did in the playoffs. We're always going to remember Raheem Mostert for that. So let's talk. What do you guys think about what's going on with Mostert?
Go ahead, Jose. I know you wrote quite a few. So
I'm on the camp that you should never pay running backs. However, I'm gonna admit I'm a hypocrite on this one, but mainly because it's just $2 million. It's just $2 million. Here, throw you a little bone here. You know what? You kind of carried us to a certain degree to the Super Bowl. You rewarded that. I know all running backs optimized Shanahan's offense, but none did it close to the point of Raheem Mostert. That's why he led the league in yards per carry. I understand some of the argue like, well, there's Tevin Coleman. Yeah, okay. Coleman's not as bad as some people want to play, aka Grant, but he's not Mostert.
He's all right. He's all right.
He's not Mostert. Yeah, he's all right. But come on, he's not Mostert. And I just think people are it's just $2 million, bro. It's top 10 money for running backs. Think about that, how no one's really paying running backs, although look at how much the Titans broke off Derrick Henry. But then again, look, they're rewarding him because they acknowledge, hey, we know Tannehill made a difference, but overall, you were the workhorse. Tannehill got the load off you. And same thing with Mostert. Hey, you got the load off Garoppolo in some certain situations, and you pretty much thrived. You were the golden child in this offense. So if it'd be one thing if you say, hey, I want a totally reworked deal and I want so much more money. And there's also the other thing of, hey, look, he just signed a deal / extension last year. It's his agent's fault. And I understand that too. It is to a certain degree, but hey, no one expected Mostert to get into this heavy role, pretty much being the feature back. I know he's not a starter, but starter's irrelevant. How much did you produce? How much did you contribute? Which was a ton, which is more than I could say about Coleman outside of a few of the games. So please give Mostert his $2 million. It's enough. It's a little kicker right there.
Real quick, Leo, but I want to mention, he was talking about the agent and incentives. And from what I understand, there were incentives in the contract built in. It's just they're usually built on like gross numbers, counting numbers, 1,000 yards rushing. And it's hard to hit those in an offense with a running back by committee. Probably in hindsight or in moving forward, agents are going to start doing it based on yards per carry, things like that. Anyway, Leo, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think really quick touch on what you said. I think that's key, and it's hard for any running back to hit in an incentive in a Shanahan offense, unlike Alfred Morris, that his which is very rare in Shanahan's offense. So, but touching on Raheem Mostert, it's hard because to say you're not paying Kittle, you're not paying Raheem. What does that say for guys going into next year that has an injury? They're all ball players. They'll play through it, but they do have a support system in their ear telling them, hey, it is a business. Sit out this one game.
That's right.
For players that have not received big-time contracts yet, why should they play 1 game, 2 game, 3 games through injuries if their franchise is showing that they're not paying the guys when they're worthy?
Also, the franchise's attitude toward Mostert is, hey, dude, it's a business. You signed a contract. Tough. Suck it up. So Mostert's attitude could be, hey, man, it's a business. You guys haven't taken care of me. In fact, you made it real clear that you're taking care of yourself, so I got to do the same thing.
Yeah,
I got to think about my future.
Yeah, I'm not going to play on this ankle. Like I got to think about my future. I'm going to be 30 once my contract ends. I don't want to play on this ankle. I'm going to sit out this game.
He could do that. He could do that. But just think about this. Maybe that message has already been sent to Mostert in a way, because what do they do with Trent Williams by operating in good faith with him, by giving him his money up front? So, hey, once again, what did we just say just like 10 minutes ago about, hey, look, D Ford, Jimmy Garoppolo, so on and so forth. Trent Williams, you didn't even play last year. But here you go. Here's your money, which honestly I had no issue with because it's like, all right, this guy has trust issue with the franchise, and look at the news coming out of Washington. So that's already that looks like a bottom 10 story at this point. So I mean, I understood it. Hey, we're operating in good faith. Here it is. We want you to sign back because players first, and that's how pretty much they do it. But you're doing it in this case with Mostert. It's really sending a little bad taste in his mouth. I know, once again, most running backs will thrive, and the 49ers offense will likely still be very good with mostly any running back, but it's just about being that peak performance, peak performance right there.
What's crazy about this organization is that, at least since Shanahan and Lynch have gotten here, it's not a meritocracy. Usually players prove themselves on the field and the depth chart is shuffled accordingly. The contracts are arranged accordingly. No, on the Niners, it's all about who Kyle Shanahan thinks is the best. And usually that matches up with reality, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes he has his own opinion and feels very strongly about that. And it's pretty much he's the only person that feels that way. Like Tevin Coleman being better than Raheem or needing to start over Raheem Mostert. Things like that. It's a good point that you would bring up Trent Williams, the need for the Niners to bend over backwards and give all this money to Quan Alexander, D Ford, players they see on other teams that they covet. But the players that they develop their own, they're like, well, I can develop another one.
Yep, exactly.
I don't like that.
Exactly.
That's our message.
And like I'm always going to say, it's like people could say Raheem Mostert got cut by 7 other teams, but Shanahan is a wizard, and he saw the special teamer was the best running back on the team. If he wasn't the best running back on the team, he wouldn't have gotten those amount of carries. It would have been Matt Breida. And I believe they realized Matt Breida wasn't going to be on the team next year. Instead of trying to build his draft value, he got 0 carries in the Super Bowl, 0 touches. I don't even think he got an offensive snap.
Nope.
And so instead of trying to raise that stock in Breida, they decided to keep it with Mostert getting that share and not having to split the carries. Mostert is the most effective running back. And just really quick, do you think Jeff Wilson could do what Tevin Coleman can?
Yes.
I do.
Yes, and he's cheaper, and he's younger, and he has upside.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
You can see the limited amount of snaps he had. How many touchdowns did he have? Like 4 or 5 or something like that?
That's right.
And his limited touches? That's insane. Talk about making the most of your opportunity right there. If it wasn't a message being sent across there, then I mean, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm really excited to see Jeff Wilson. I talked to him like a few months ago. And this guy, I'm really excited for him. And the fact that we were mentioning Coleman, it's like, well, I mean, if we're saying that Shanahan can do it with any running backs, poor Mostert, but we got Coleman. Like, all right, well, you could say poor Coleman, go cheaper and go Wilson. So, I mean, if we're going to play that game.
Yep. And one thing about Mostert real quick, I mean, just because he got cut by 7 teams doesn't mean that he was a bum or that he wasn't good. I mean, a lot of times these guys just need to get opportunities in a real game. I mean, if you've been at training camp, it's really hard to assess a running back when there's no tackling. You don't really know how far he would have went on that run. So when he had like 41 carries before 2019, he never got his shot. So that's why I kind of compare him to like Jeff Garcia or Kurt Warner. These are guys who went on to become Pro Bowl, in Warner's case, a Hall of Fame player who just never got an opportunity until he's like 30, 28. And it didn't mean he was bad. It just, he played at a small school. He didn't get drafted. He just wasn't part of the pipeline for whatever reason. It came in late. That's Mostert. I think he's the real deal. I don't think he's a one-year wonder, but I guess he'll have to prove that.
You drew some headlines there way before anybody else was talking about the pandemic as something that was a concern for you. So just how's the family holding up, and how closely are you following what's going on?
Family's doing great. Thanks for asking. And, we're hunkered down here, and it's one of those things where we knew that something like this was going to take place, and, we wanted to be prepared. That's why I was the first one to, start thinking about what's going on in the upcoming months. And so, it's been great. And we follow it very closely. Ohio, I'm in Ohio right now, Cleveland to be exact. And it's been pretty nice because it seems like everyone, all the neighbors and everyone are on the same page. When you go and look outside, Ohio right now is actually starting to, loosen some restrictions. And it's going great so far, but we still have that pandemic going on, and we still got to defeat it somehow.
Along those lines, there have been discussions, obviously, about pro sports starting up again, and you guys might be reassembling in in July for training camp. Have you thought about that step? And are you, your wife, concerned about the time when, you know, it's going to be 90 guys together on the field, in a locker room, all that stuff?
Yeah. You know, whatever it takes us, you know, to come to that point. Yeah, my wife has been concerned. She's actually cried, you know, a couple of times just because she wants to make sure not only myself, but those 90 guys that are in the locker room are going to all be safe, and their families as well. So we've had talks about it, and, you know, she understands that no matter what, you know, this is my job, and I have to do what my job, you know, requires me to do, which is all fair. And she's excited as well. She wants football to be back and sports to be back in general. But yeah, we've talked about it, and yeah, to go along with it, you know, it's one of those things where we don't know what it's going to take in order for, you know, us to be back out there on the field, you know, testing every week and playing in a different state or what have you. We don't know yet, and that's something that's going to be determined once the time comes. Once that decision, you know, has to be made. So we just got to look at the brighter side and hope and pray that, you know, everyone is looking out for each other and the safety of each other as well.